Hello and welcome back to our video series on how to set up and operate the Viper 4. In this episode, we are going to walk through how to use the File Manager. The File Manager is used for the overall handling of files. The File Manager tab is where you will work with the files stored on the Viper 4. This tab is split in half, so think of the left half as the available files, and the right half as what you want to do with those files. You can move the files to the right using the arrows, and you can move them back to the left using the X's. You can also apply a filter to help sort through your files. It is especially helpful if you want to do file maintenance to clear old jobs, but still keep things like your scout groups and street maps. Just use the filter button, and then select your file type. You can also filter further using the grower farm field choices. Be conscious of when you have filters applied so that you don't mistakenly think that files are missing. When the filter button is filled with blue squares, it means that a filter is applied. Go back into the filter button and deselect everything to remove the filter. As for what you can do with files, you can rename them by selecting the file name when it is on the left side. When a file is on the right, you can use the Information button to see the type of file and its grower farm field assignment. One thing to keep in mind here is that the buttons next to each file will only affect that file, and the buttons at the top will affect all files on the right side. To change the Gff assignment, select the Edit button and then choose the Grower, Farm, and Field. Here you can also create new Gff items. Use the trash can to delete any files. To transfer files, use the Export button. You can transfer files wirelessly if you have a Slingshot Field Hub installed, and you can also use a USB drive. Now choose either Copy or Move. If you choose to move files, this will save you a step if you were planning to delete the file later on. I am just going to copy this time. If you transfer as a GFF, it will put the files on the USB in a GFF folder structure, and you can look through these files individually on your computer. If you transfer as a Slingshot archive, any files you selected for transfer will be grouped into a single file usable only by the Slingshot web portal or another Viper 4. This makes uploading files to Slingshot with a USB much easier, and it simplifies transferring files from one Viper 4 to another. If you are exporting job files, you can generate a PDF report as well as include any shape files from the job. To import files into the Viper 4, use the USB Import Manager tab. Select your USB drive, and then pick the file type you want to import. On the next page, all you need to do is navigate through the folders on your USB drive to locate the file types you selected. Since I chose jobs, I need to go to where the job files are stored on my drive. This USB drive shows how the Viper 4 exports jobs using the Grower Farm Field structure. If you ever need to go back and select a different file type, just use the orange arrow at the top. After you find your files, place a check mark next to the files you want to import, and then either copy or move them onto the Viper 4. One thing to keep in mind here is that when you select a file type in the Import tab, it may apply a filter in the File Manager tab. Just remember to check the Filter button to see if one is applied. The File Transfer History tab will display any files transferred wirelessly between the Viper 4 and the Slingshot web portal. The Management Options tab is used to set whether or not jobs will be automatically sent wirelessly to Slingshot when jobs are closed. Here you can also export grower, farm, field data to a USB as ISO task data. This is useful for when you already have a GFF structure built into a Viper 4 and want to copy it over to another Viper 4. This way, you don't have to manually create it on however many Viper 4s you or your organization are using.